just as we had just a short time ago. We will make America powerful again. We will make America wealthy again. We will make America healthy again. We will make America strong again. We will make America proud again. We will make America safe again. And we will make America great again. Great again. Great again.
Hey guys, welcome to the American Tribune Live. I am Todd Peterson, and it's just me today. It is just me going on some, I know it's going to be wild and insane. I can't believe I'm saying this. I can't believe I'm saying that we should all be able to keep more of our money, but that's where I'm at today. And look, it's a celebration. It is a campaign promise. Another campaign promise delivered by Donald Trump, who said he would end taxes on tips, on overtime, on Social Security. And fun fact, folks, the way they are able to tax you on Social Security, again, you think it's double taxation. It's not. It's because it's not your money coming back to you. My podcast partner, Jason Robertson, always talk about this on our show. When you get your Social Security check, it's not the money that they stole from you the first time. As soon as the government gets money in form of FICA taxes, they redistribute it to someone else. So my money gets redistributed to you on your Social Security check. It is not your money, so they can tax it again. That being said, look, it's a good thing that they're getting rid of this form of taxation. It helps seniors. It helps people on fixed incomes. Yes, if you are working in the bar or a waitress, for the most part, you are making less money. Now, I've met lots of people that you think a big city at a nice restaurant, those people are making more money than I do, than most of us do. Good for them. But the point of this, folks, is that there is not some form of income that is more special and more privileged than someone else's. Is it a good thing that we are ending taxes on tips, on overtime, on Social Security? I got some clips here. Donald Trump is exploring ending taxes on interest payments for purchases made on American-made cars or anything American-made. These are all good things. I'm not trying to black pill or be a rain cloud on an otherwise sunny day. But the point is, why are other people getting special attention, special privileges from the government? I thought we campaigned against that. No, you are not more special than me because you have a different skin color, different religion, or a different job for that matter. I am all about fairness. There is nothing fair about the fact that I work hard 7 days a week at the American Tribune. What is overtime for a single small business owner? I am self-employed. It is me running the show here. Yes, I have business partners, but the way the business is structured, all the money that I take in, it is mine. It is just mine. I'm not paying any employees. If I work 4 hours a day, is that a normal day? If I work 8 hours a day, is that a normal day? When does overtime kick in for a small business owner? I could make the argument that everything I do is overtime because I could have a baseline of 0 hours. I would make very little, if not no money, maybe some residuals. But anything I do above and beyond that, that would seem like an overtime. So where is my cut from Donald Trump? So again, if you are a bartender, if you are a waitress, if you are a bellhop, if you make deliveries to people's homes and they tip you, I don't know why you're reporting a cash tip anyways, but now you don't have to be worried about it. Good. Hey, government, I got this much money in tips. What are you going to do about it? I'm going to keep it. That's a good thing. It's a good thing that our senior citizens getting Social Security checks, many of them relying solely on that to help them through retirement. It's a good thing they get to keep that. Make no mistake. But folks, it is time to push back. Donald Trump needs to get the message. You don't get to play who's going to be extra special today. That's everything he campaigned against. That's everything I oppose. No, your money is not more valuable to you if it is an overtime wage, if it is a Social Security check, if it's a tip. Your money means as much to you as it means to me. Again, small business owner over here. There are many of us around the country that own small businesses. I was an assistant principal. I was a W-2 earner. My wife is both a W-2 earner and a small business owner herself. No matter where your income comes from, you deserve the same protections as the people Donald Trump just gave them to. You should be able to keep it all. Again, I know it's radical. I know I'm really going out there saying I worked for this money. No one else is entitled to it. I've always been opposed to income taxes. I don't know how anyone defends them at this point after what we saw with Doge. You're telling me as a Democrat voter, you are fine with the government stealing your hard-earned money at gunpoint. Yeah, just go ahead and try not paying your taxes one year. See how long it takes for the IRS to come banging down your door and stealing out of your pocket or your bank account or going after your money without your permission. At that point, they're just going to say, I am now taking this. Um, Good luck trying that. Nobody likes taxes. I don't know why Democrats are shrieking about this. And Kamala Harris tried to steal that campaign talking point. Remember, she tried to be like, I'm not going to tax tips. Yeah, right. Democrats love taxes. I don't know why anyone fell for that. But folks, all of our earned money, no matter how we get it, is the same and needs to be treated the same. That's my rant today. That's the premise of my show. I am happy for these people that they will no longer pay taxes. But if someone in the Trump administration, I'm not the only one saying this, if someone happens to catch wind of this show, I have a very simple message. No more playing favorites. No more trying to buy votes. It seems like this is a vote buying scheme here. You're trying to go for the working class Americans, the outside the laptop computer class of liberal elites. I understand that you are trying to help them, and you can try to help them and try to earn their vote at the same time. This is politics. I have nothing wrong with that. I don't want Democrats to ever win again. So, whatever Donald Trump has to do to win these votes, I am fine with it. But that being said, where is the effort to win my vote? Where is the effort to make sure that it is fair for everybody? We have been going on for years about the culture war. And I understand this is not in the same universe as giving blacks preferential treatment or women preferential treatment or religious minorities preferential treatment, but it does create a little bit of division here. You're left wondering, well, hold on a second. Why did I go into the trades? Why did I leave my very cushy government job as an assistant principal to start my own business from scratch, by the way, and build it up to a little media empire? Why did I go through all that trouble if I could have just been a bartender in some ritzy club downtown and then kept all of my cash tips? Why are we setting up a system that incentivizes people to do certain things like that or create unnecessary divisions where I'm left wondering, does Trump not care? Do they not care? Certainly, Donald Trump recognizes what income tax is. He is explicitly saying, you worked hard for that money and you should keep it. I've got clips of Donald Trump saying just as much. So the only logical conclusion, the next step has to be, needs to be, should be then, okay, you, Todd Peterson, you work just as hard as AOC used to as a bartender. Maybe she worked hard. I have no idea. But can you imagine AOC not paying taxes anymore? The Democrat, Socialist, Communist AOC, who was a bartender, wouldn't be paying the government any money on her tips. And she'd be like, yeah, I worked hard for that money. I should keep it. Meanwhile, she'll go to Congress and say, I need to steal 100% of your income. Because when Democrats say, I want a fair tax, I want to tax the rich, what they really mean is, I want to steal all of your money. That's why they never give you an answer. Ask your Democrat friend, what's a fair tax rate? And they never have an answer. Number one, they haven't been told by their programmers yet what number they should tell you and just repeat back and parrot back. But number two, if you really press them far enough, they would say, I think we should get all of it because slavery built America. And someone else that pays taxes, paid for the roads. And like Barack Obama said, you didn't build your business. The government helped build your business. And all Americans helped build your business because they gave you the roads that you drive on to get from point A to point B to make money. So they don't even think you have earned it. They would look at me and say, Todd, even though there was nothing, there was no American Tribune before you and your partner started it, and there was no content, there was no nice little office that I built out here, somehow a Democrat would take credit for everything that I built from the ground up. There was no American Tribune Live with Todd Peterson before I bought a camera and a microphone and a computer and created this ridiculous background, by the way. When it's sunny outside, all you see is like white blurs. So I got to work on my studio still. I worked for this. I worked hard for this. I work hard every day for this. Where is my tax benefit, Donald Trump? So Trump administration, IRS, I'm looking at you, IRS, you got to go away. But then I'm left wondering, we can't even get through a Department of Education hearing without these goons crying about who's going to teach the kids. So imagine the fight when Donald Trump says, I will now abolish the IRS. Not going to happen. Not going to happen anytime soon because your overlords know they're better than you. They think they're smarter than you. They think they're better people than you. And so they know how to manage money more efficiently than you do. You wouldn't go to church and tithe. You wouldn't work in a soup kitchen or buy canned goods to donate to your community. No, they need to steal their money from you because they know what NGOs are going to direct aid to the right people, even though the aid money goes to the CEOs and the lobbyists and the donors and the special interest groups. And then maybe a little food trickles down to those in need. But even then, does government money solve any problems? I can look at California and I can say they had a homeless problem. And then Gavin Newsom and Democrats decided to spend billions of dollars on homelessness. And all we have to show for it is more homelessness. So you tell me how spending more government money ever makes the problem better anyways. But then you're going to tell me that I have to work hard, work my butt off, and then I don't get to keep it. But if I work hard in a bar or I work hard where tips are normal, and by the way, we are way over tipping, that is a separate conversation. Maybe Donald Trump could have come out and said, folks, we tip too much in America. If you want to make more money, instead of guilt tripping someone to leave a dollar bill in a jar at every store you go to now, how about you start your own business or develop a skill set that would enable you to just get a higher income in general? This is not to say that bartending is beneath anybody or any sort of tip based job is beneath anybody. But if you are relying on tips, I just like transparency. How about you bake it into the cake? And when I go to these restaurants in Minneapolis, which I don't do anymore, Hennepin County introduced like a service tax and they introduced like a COVID tax. So they had all these hidden taxes that would show up on your bill afterwards. And you're like, I didn't sign up for that. I wanted a $15 hamburger. Just be transparent. Just say, I'm paying the staff more. You don't have to tip on this bill, but this is what you will pay coming in. I could live with that. Maybe I don't eat there anymore, but at least they were being transparent to me. But folks, the whole thing, the whole tipping culture, that has to go away. But the whole idea of government selecting winners and losers, that's the real point here. I don't want the government telling me that this job is more special. Somehow that $10 bill left on a table is now worth more to that person than the money I receive from a YouTube super chat or a Rumble super chat or our ad revenue from our websites or the other means of generating money and revenues that our business does. I work hard every single day. Every single American that gets in their car or opens up their computer or goes to work, however they earn income, that is just as hard earned money as a waitress or a bellhop, as the Trump administration likes to keep pointing out here. I got a little tweet here. So again, these are all the winners from Trump's big beautiful bill. I'm not hating on them. I am happy for them that they're not paying taxes. The whole point, though, is that none of us should be paying taxes. So we've got no taxes on tips. So servers, bartenders, bellhops just got a raise. Promises made, promises kept. Yes, absolutely. That was a campaign promise. Donald Trump has never delivered so many campaign promises. I would say Donald Trump versus every other politician in the history of the country. How many empty promises do they make? Donald Trump has delivered win after win, promise after promise. So again, I'm not going to rag on him for delivering the win, delivering on that promise, but I am going to push back and say, you're not going to pick winners and losers because I voted against that. It's the communists that pick winners and losers in their form of government, not America First. America First doesn't select winners and losers. It doesn't select winners and losers based on race. Donald Trump's been very strong against DEI. This is a win. But now you don't get to pick winners and losers based on how you make your money. We all work hard to make our money. No segregation when it comes to who pays and who doesn't pay. Let's see, we made Trump tax cuts permanent. Biden and Democrats wanted them to expire. Again, they will keep lying to you. I have family members that will repost the most insane stuff on social media about how Donald Trump's tax cuts in 2017, the TJCA, somehow made it better for the rich and somehow made it harder for you. Even though if you do the math, everybody saved on their taxes. And if you want to go after the rich, I got a simple idea. I don't want to tax the rich either. I don't want to tax anybody. How about that? I have a very simple taxation model when it comes to government. If you make money through income, you don't pay taxes on that income. How about that? So the child tax credit was raised to $2,500. I'm good with that. I think we have to have an honest conversation about the child tax credit because we have seen, it's not rocket science. If you have more kids, you get more government money back. And we have seen who is having the kids because it's an economic model for certain communities. I am not out there raising a family motivated by the tax credit. Now, it is a good thing. We need to be promoting large families, but we also need to recognize abuse. Now, if you're going to have 5 kids with 5 different dads and you're not going to work, and then you need to get your EBT and your SNAP and your WIC and your welfare and your child tax credit, that's the system not working. Again, good intentions. JD Vance, Donald Trump, very pro-family when it comes to their policies. I am all for raising these tax credits for kids, but then there's got to be some limiting factor about who qualifies and why you qualify. We shouldn't be making having kids your job, your primary source of income. And so then we get to this: overtime pay is tax-free. Work hard, actually keep more. But again, if you are a small business owner, what is overtime versus what is normal labor? I had a guy come install a heater in my garage yesterday because I want to finish my garage. I want to make it look nice. I want to work out of there as well. Um, what is a normal day for him? When does that turn into overtime? So I was like, hey, buddy, I've got you here. Can you install this outlet? And can you take off this death trap that is this 100% efficient gas heater in my lower garage, which, by the way, has no venting system? So when I first bought the house, the owner was like, this thing is great. It heats it up. All the heat that gets created is kept right here in your lower unit. And then I said, but don't they off gas certain chemicals? And he's like, well, yeah, I only work in here for like 2 hours and then I get dizzy. It's like, yeah, no shit. So that was a problem. That had to go. I mean, I didn't need to die from carbon monoxide poisoning. So I was like, you're here. Can you take that off and cap the LP connection? And then can you just haul it away? So I didn't hire him to do that. Was that overtime for him when he charged me $300 more to do all that stuff there? Like, does he get to keep that $300? How does the government decide that? As a small business owner here, if I say, all right, Todd, today your chunk of the business work is to go on the podcast or create these videos for the American Tribune. What if I create an extra video because I said, hey guys, I want to test something? Did I just work overtime? Seems like it. How do I file that on my income though? Do I need to actually create now overtime? I might. I might start working overtime for the American Tribune just so the IRS has that. But why? Why am I going through that extra step? Why do I have to go through the trouble? I work just as hard as a bartender that gets $10 left behind. And you know what? You want to talk about tips for a bartender? How about we identify the fact that a female bartender, I don't have the advantage of wearing a low cut shirt on my podcast here. But if I were to dress in a certain way, dudes at the bar are tipping more because whatever, I got a show today. There's a little female privilege involved with that. There are so many different ways that, again, it's not fair. And I know, is it childish to be like, I just want it to be fair? Kind of. When it comes to government selecting winners and losers, it should be fair. That's why I want no income tax, period. That's fair to everybody. You don't like all of the income you make at the end of the day? Go find another job. Go develop a skill set. All right. So we talk about work requirements for welfare. That is great. Deporting illegals. That is great. Building the wall. Folks, if the wall ever gets built, again, I don't want to be the black pill today. Is it that hard to build a wall? We have all this money. Cost is not the problem. We have the means. We have the resources. Are we going to build a wall in my lifetime? Is it too much to ask that I just want one huge wall built across the entire southern border? And I want cameras, and I want sensors, and I want booby traps, and I want guns on the border, and I want a sign in Spanish on the other side that says, if you take one more step forward, there will be bullets flying over your head. Is that too much to ask for? So we eliminated some of this. We got 10,000 new ICE agents. That sounds great. Trump savings accounts for kids, building generational wealth from birth. I'd have to read more on that. Let me know in the comments below if you're more familiar with the Trump savings account. But then we go through all this other great stuff here. Again, repealing DEI mandates. But folks, is this privileged, exclusive, no taxes on tips, overtime, Social Security? It's kind of a form of economic DEI, is it not? You are saying you're a special class of person who deserves extra benefits for no really reason other than the fact that I'm just going to say that. You know, if I'm an airline and I say I'm going to hire 50% of my pilots now that need to be a minority of some sort, like United declared, or your Air Canada, I did a podcast on Tuesday. You got to go check out the clip. Go check out the podcast. Just watch 3 minutes of Air Canada celebrating their first 2S LGBTQAI plus whatever. And the dudes in the video too are like, I got to read the script because I don't even know the letters in the alphabet anymore. Like, they don't even know. They don't care. It doesn't matter. And then the pilot, of course, is like, I don't care who steps on the plane. It's my job to get them there all safely. And I'm like, what the hell? That's all I'm saying the whole time. I don't care who you are as the pilot. Just get me safely from point A to point B. Why am I a bigot when I say I don't care who's in the cockpit? And he's allowed to be like, I don't care what my passengers look like. Like, get the hell out of here with that. But watch that clip. It's insane. But that's DEI. How is this not a form of DEI as well? And I'm just scrolling here through everything else in the big, beautiful bill. Eliminates federal COVID emergency powers. I can't believe we have to codify that. So enacts Social Security tax cuts for seniors. And again, they got around taxing your Social Security because it is not your money getting sent back to you. We all operate under the delusion that when I pay taxes to the government for Social Security, I'm paying like 12.1% because I'm a small business owner. So the business pays the 6, I pay the other 6. They're not banking that money and investing it and buying bonds or going in the stock market and saying, okay, Todd, now you're 65. Let's return your money to you. That's not how this works. My money gets stolen from me at gunpoint right away. And then my parents get it, other retirees get it. And so, because it's not your money, they're going to tax it. So good. I'm glad that's going away. We should never have had taxes on Social Security to begin with. What's the point of sending, and I'm asking rhetorically, because is the government not going to try to steal your money? But what's the point of saying, okay, elders, we understand that you have a fixed income, you rely on this. Oh, by the way, we're going to take it right off the top. So good luck surviving. Where I live in Minnesota, all these retired Democrats are just like, I need more money. And then they vote for people in Minnesota that will tax your Social Security. Not every state does that, but Donald Trump needs to eliminate that. These are all good things. Make no mistake, ending taxes on these sectors is a good thing, but it's not enough. Right now, it's not fair. All income is just as valuable to the person receiving it in whatever form they get it. Why is this controversial? Why am I the bad guy? Why is this not happening widespread across the Trump administration? Again, if my message somehow makes it to the Trump administration, and one of my business partners, Will Tanner, he was on the Matt Gaetz show, so I feel like we're a couple degrees away. We're getting closer to the Trump administration. If you are recognizing the fact that people work hard for their money and deserve to keep more of their money, how is the next step then not that you can all keep your money? That's all I'm asking for. That is all I'm asking for. All right, folks, I've been going on for 20 minutes about this. I think I'm repeating myself a little bit. I'm going to play some clips. I got Chuck Schumer because I had to sneak in a Chuck Schumer clip. But here's Donald Trump speaking to Sean Hannity about this. And again, it is a good thing. It is a good thing that these people are not paying taxes. I have been fighting for this my whole life, in the sense that you can say screaming at a computer equates to fighting for this. This is good. It's just not enough.
There are many legs to your economic plan that you're laying out. One are the trade deals. Second is tax cuts permanent, no tax tips, no tax Social Security,
Right.
no tax overtime. Another leg would be energy.
Interest deduction on cars. Remember that.
That's
so it's
big.
No tax on tips, no tax on Social Security benefits for seniors, which is so great. Think of it. And no tax on overtime. But there's a fourth leg that I think is really important of that, where middle-income people, but any people, if you buy a car made in America, I'm not interested if it's made anywhere else. I couldn't care less. But if it's made in America, you get, and you borrow money to buy the car, which I guess 80% of the people do, you get a tax deduction on your interest payments. That's a big deal. That's never happened before.
A big deal for people that are buying cars, but...
All right, call me cynical, but I look around. I went car shopping this year. We are on the fritz. We have 3 beaters, and to be clear, I love driving a beater here. I don't want to drop a lot of money in a car. I go car shopping, and I'm like, these prices are insane. I don't have to tell you that. And then I said, look, buddy, I know that you are struggling right now. Can you knock off? And I went in with a very simple request. You're going to say, Todd, you didn't ask for enough. You're a really weak negotiator. I said, can you drop $2,000 on this $50,000 price tag? And he didn't budge. Not 1 cent. He said, it's as low as I can go. I can only do 49. So I said, I'm not buying the car. I'm here with my wife. I need to at least pretend like I need to convince myself, lie to myself that I got a good deal. I got the best I could do. Can I walk out at 47? And he said, no, I'm not going to budge. So I said, screw you. I am not doing this on principle. I will pay for repair month after month on these other cars. I am not buying a car at sticker price. I refuse to pay more than $47,000. He had a chance to move a car at $47,000 and he didn't want to. So I said, screw this. I'm walking out. We leave. He calls us. We come back. We do the same thing again. And he says, no, 49. Now I'll throw in some other nonsense that you don't need. How about that instead? So tell you what, pay 49. I'll do this other stuff you didn't ask for, don't want, don't need, instead of going down to 47. I said, no, I don't want that. Just give me the car for $47,000. Let me go home. Let me look at my wife and say, honey, I got us a deal. And he couldn't even do that. So I'm like, F this. I'm walking out of here. But Donald Trump's plan here obviously is to help move vehicles. And again, I am fine if 2 things are true at once. I am fine if he's trying to give Americans a deal. No taxes on the interest for car payments. I don't even know what that comes out to. Like, honestly, you get a car loan for $40,000. What are we talking about in terms of interest? Anyways, a couple grand. So it sounds good. I think in practice, like maybe that helps people. Like obviously it helps people. We're not talking life-changing money all of a sudden. We're not going to buy a second home because we're not paying taxes on our interest for the car payment. So yeah, there is that. It sounds good. It's something. I'll take something. I'll take anything from the government at this point. One less tax as they win. But let's be honest, dude. Donald Trump is trying to help the car sector, the manufacturing sector in America. He understands that inflation has gutted our disposable income. It's made our dollar less valuable. Car prices are outrageous here. So he's trying to do two good things at once. Not a problem with that whatsoever. And then he goes on and says, yeah, we got these other things coming up the pipe stream, coming up down the pipe as well. We're not going to do the taxes, like I said, on the tips, on the overtime, on the Social Security. Donald Trump clearly sees that when Americans have more money in their pocket, things are better for Americans. And it turns out if we have more disposable income, if we keep more of our money, we are more likely to go put it into the economy. Do you see how this is a net benefit? I have more money. I am willing to spend more money. Spending more money creates jobs, makes businesses more successful. What am I trying to explain here? What is not hard to understand? But again, he's playing favorites with certain kinds of jobs, and I'm just not okay with it. Nope, no winners and losers getting selected by the government. I work just as hard for my money as anybody else. You watching the show, you work just as hard as anybody else, but because you're not in one of the privileged sectors of the service industry or a retiree in this case, I don't know. I'm convinced. I think I convinced myself in this last half hour that I will just start reporting a lot of my income as overtime. I can do 1 hour of work a day. That's the bare minimum for me. But then when I go above and beyond, I guess I am working overtime as a small business owner. Can the IRS lay out the rules, or am I going to make up the rules? As it stands right now, I will make up the rules. Here is a clip, though. So we talked about promises made, promises kept. Here's Carolyn Levitt. This was back in late February. Donald Trump had just been sworn in less than a month before this. And here she was touting the same stuff. So again, promises made, promises kept. Not complaining about that, but I'm complaining it's not going far enough. But here's Levitt.
My receipts. I like to bring your receipts. So these are the tax priorities of the Trump administration that the president has laid out for members in that meeting today. No tax on tips, which is obviously a very public campaign promise the president made. No tax on seniors' Social Security. No tax on overtime pay. Renewing President Trump's 2017 middle-class tax cuts. Again, these are the president's priorities. Adjusting the SALT cap, eliminate all the special tax breaks for billionaire sports team owners, close the carried interest tax deduction loophole, tax cuts for made in America products. This will be the...
All right, these are all good things, but the one thing they're not talking about is ending all income taxes. And again, it would be a start. It would be a win of sorts. We've seen Vance talk about raising the threshold for taxes. So if you're single, making less than $150,000 a year, you're not paying taxes. That's better than our current system. So I imagine that would go up to like 300,000 joint. That's going to help most Americans. I would settle for that right now. But again, if you're not getting taxed at all on tips and overtime and Social Security, why are we even having this conversation about who's still going to pay taxes? I don't know if I need to say this out loud, but your taxes don't fund the government. That is one of the greatest lies you've ever been told, to think that you have a hand, an active role in funding the government that lords over you. The government makes money by printing it. That's it. They create bills. They print money at the Fed. Then the Fed charges them interest, by the way. This is the greatest scheme ever concocted. You have a private bank basically making money off of you, the American taxpayer, i.e. the government. They can sell treasuries and bonds around the world. Donald Trump's been very tough on tariffs, or at least he's talking tough. We'll see if these get implemented here. But you can fund the government through buying and selling these treasuries, the bonds. You can do tariffs. You don't need our income taxes. Our income taxes are only there to keep money out of the system and keep inflation down. That's it. That's all it is. So we don't need income taxes in general. You would not notice a single change in government operations. You think, well, if I keep my income tax money, then the government's going to get smaller because it won't have as much to spend. Nope, they'll just print more money. So it's not a problem at all for them. It has to change. But I am happy for these people. I am happy to see us move in the direction of recognizing that we should be able to keep our money and not pay taxes on it. But the only logical conclusion is that none of us should be paying taxes. Period. Full stop. All right, and we're going to wrap up the show with, I got Chuck Schumer here. So again, we kind of read down the list of what's in the big, beautiful bill. Yes, it adds to our deficit. Yes, you got the Rand Pauls and the Thomas Masseys who have my principles, and they're never going to support the America First movement because they live in a fake world. So we all recognize communists are insane and stupid, and they have these made-up visions of what it would look like if we lived in a communist society. It's never been tried before. Communism leads to mass death and starvation. That's it, and absolute control in a very small circle of elites. The rest of us, even if you vote for it, you're not cared for. They don't care about you. This libertarian philosophy, though, it has to be said, it's kind of the same thing in the other direction. Libertarians like a Rand Paul and a Thomas Massie, and I've said before, I'd take a Congress full of them. That'd be an upgrade from what we have. But if you are a devout libertarian and you said the only system that I will settle for is zero government, again, this is as made up a utopia on the libertarian side as is the communist side, because libertarians don't acknowledge or recognize or want to see that there are just basic human, they're baked into the cake, human nature. If you got rid of government tomorrow, if there was no more US government, they think life would be great. And it's like, no, that's not how this works. Someone would fill the void and demand power. And inevitably, that power would be far worse than what you're experiencing right now. So instead of our constitutional republic, you would simply have the worst and strongest person fill the power void. It could be a foreign nation coming in, it could be someone within the United States. Someone is going to take charge. We are a hierarchical species. So, no, if you get rid of the US government, that doesn't make life better. It just opens the door for something worse to come along. So I won't, no, they're just like, no, the debt, no, too much government, limited government. Yeah, limited government is good. No government is an awful idea. How about these people wake up and live in reality and say it is either the America First movement in charge or the communists in charge? There will never be a third option of no government, and then we just fill the void of power with just absolute anarchy and chaos and terror. So that's not happening. It's either America First is in charge or the communists in charge. Those are the only two options. It is binary. For everybody out there saying, I wish we had more political parties, doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, they coalesce around one of two groups. But here's Chuck Schumer. I'll just segue. That's a horrible segue. But here's Chuck Schumer calling Trump's big, beautiful bill the we're all going to die bill. That's where Democrats are at. You get to keep more of your money, and Chuck Schumer and Democrats are saying that means we're all going to die. If we don't have essential government services, we're all going to perish. Trump's going to murder us all. I'm still waiting to have him explain what that is exactly, how that would play out. But here is Schumer. This is where Democrats are at. They can't just say, you know what, Kamala ran on this too. It's a great thing for the American people. These people shouldn't be paying taxes. You know what, let's abolish all income taxes. How about they go the other direction against Trump for once and just say, Donald Trump didn't go far enough. He hates the American people. He should abolish all income taxes. Democrats will run on abolishing all income taxes. But instead, they have to fearmonger. They need you freaking out, hyperventilating. So they have to lie to you. And they have to say that because there are no more taxes on tips, that now means everybody is dead.
And we all know one thing. Donald Trump is just lying about the bill. Lying about the bill. Well, here's the We Are All Going to Die Act. And we all know one thing.
All right, I guess that was a whole clip. Sorry, I was navigating multiple screens for a second. I thought he was going to go longer, but we're all going to die. So that's where Democrats are at right now. You get to keep more of your money. It's a win for the American people. I'm upset that it's not going far enough, and Democrats over there are upset that it's happening at all. Again, if people are confused about which party to support in 2025, I will never forgive half this country. 48.3% of the country voted for Kamala Harris. It was never an easier decision. Who do I want to vote for? Who do I want in charge of the country? Do I want endless taxation? Do I want open borders? Do I want foreign wars that will never come to an end? Do I want to release all the bad guys in society? Do I want to go after the kids? People are like, I have to think about that. Same thing right here. You're telling me, after what Donald Trump has done with Doge, for example, half this country is mad that Doge uncovered corruption, and you're thinking to yourself, shouldn't you be mad that corruption exists and not be mad at the people exposing the corruption? Should I be happy that people aren't paying taxes, or should I be mad that everybody's not paying taxes? If you're one of the centrists or the moderates or the independent voters and you think you're so smart, you're so much better than us that are partisan, and you think, I like to listen to both sides and look at the issues and see where they stand, it's like, no, we're well beyond that at this point. Do you like this country or do you not? And for everyone that listens to Chuck Schumer and they're like, yeah, Trump is going to kill us because he's reducing tax obligations of the American people. Trump secured the border. Trump's trying to bring peace overseas, but then you got the rhinos and the Dems flying over to Ukraine on state television. The agitprop over there after Zelensky wipes out the strategic fleet of Russia. You have people that support this. Mad at closing the border, mad at exposing the corruption, mad at letting Americans keep more of their own money. What's it going to take to wake up these Democrats? I'm out of words sometimes with these folks. All right, and with that being said, I got to get out of here. We started the show a little bit early today. I really just wanted to rant about this, and it turns out I had a lot to say 35 minutes in of just me ranting about the income tax. Honestly, if you wanted to listen to 10 seconds of the show, let me just summarize the show very fast here, and you can clip this, send it to Donald Trump. I don't want to live in a society where some money is seen as special and privileged and more valuable than other money. If you are a bartender, if you are a small business owner, if you are a W-2 wage earner, if you get any form of income, whatever that income looks like, it needs to be treated the same because it is utilized in the same way. I work very hard as a small business owner. I worked very hard as a teacher and assistant principal. My wife works very hard as a doctor and a small business owner. If you work hard in a landscaping business, or you're the HVAC guy that I talked about earlier in my show, or if you go sit in a cubicle all day, these are all forms of labor. They are all equally demanding of our time and our energy and our resources. We would much rather be doing other things. I don't want to live in a world where because you have a certain title that you get special attention and privileges from the government. I don't want our government selecting winners and losers. I don't need them motivating or incentivizing me to go buy an American-made car. I don't need them saying you should just go be a bartender if you want to keep all your tips. I want to live in a world where there is simply no income tax. We are moving down that path. If Donald Trump could simply come out and say, this is phase one of eliminating the income tax, I could live with that. And I would say, okay, I'm going to sit on my hands for a little bit. I'm going to keep my mouth shut. I'm going to wait for this to come out because he delivers on his promises. But right now, all I'm getting is, okay, you get tips, you work overtime, and you get Social Security. Congratulations, you're not paying income tax. The rest of you suckers, you are going to keep getting threatened with a gun pointed to your head and officers with handcuffs waiting outside your door. And if you don't pay up, they're coming to get you. Not where I want to be, folks. There is nothing special about serving drinks. There is nothing special about getting Social Security other than the fact that you made it 65 years in your life. And good for you. You're in a fixed income. I'm not mad about you, but I'm railing against the system right now. All income is equally valuable. The government under Donald Trump needs to recognize that. I think they do because he says, I'm not going to tax this. That money's important to you. Guess what, Trump administration? My money that I make is just as important to me as it is to that bartender over there getting no taxes on tips. So something needs to change. Abolish all forms of income taxes. And there it is, folks. TLDR. And I think my TLDR still went about 2 minutes. With that being said, thanks for tuning in today. We're a live show. I went a little early today, so I think I missed my core audience. You can check us out on Apple, on Spotify, and check out all of our properties. You can go to theamericantribune.com. I do video commentary 7 days a week. Again, that might be overtime now, according to the IRS. I think I just made it official. I now work overtime on weekends. Go to theamericantribune.com. We got 12 to 15 breaking news articles every single day. Check out the Christian Tribune. We do a couple articles every day over there about positive, uplifting Christian stories there. If you're just like, I'm tired of the news cycle, got some feel-good stuff over there. Go to theamericantribune.news. Will Tanner, our business partner, he was the one on the Matt Gaetz show, but he's breaking down South Africa, Rhodesia. Very insightful stuff that we can't post that stuff on big tech platforms like Facebook and YouTube. We get nuked instantly for telling the truth about some really serious issues. So check that out, theamericantribune.news. And if you want to support a local, I always got to do the cheers at the end of the show. If you want to support a local disabled veteran-owned coffee company, go to splitrockcoffee.com. Use promo code TOD10, splitrockcoffee.com, promo code TOD10, and subscribe and save today. They got all sorts of labels coming out, different kinds of coffee, whole bean, ground bean, flavored beans, unflavored beans, strong caffeine, low caffeine, but it's low acidic. You can drink it all day. Splitrockcoffee.com, use promo code TOD10. And with that being said, I am back next Tuesday, 9-ish, 9:30. We're just going to go live at some point. We're going to press the button. Tuesdays and Thursdays, the American Tribune Live. And then check us out tomorrow. It's Friday. That means Freedom from the Press is going live at the American Tribune Rumble channel, the American Tribune, over on rumble.com. And that's 10 a.m. Central, 11 a.m. Eastern. With that being said, folks, thanks for listening. Thanks for tuning in. Have a good one.
Starting on day one, we'll implement a rapid series of bold reforms to restore our nation to full prosperity. We're going to go full prosperity and to build the greatest economy the world has ever seen, just as we had just a short time ago. We will make America powerful again. We will make America wealthy again. We will make America healthy again. We will make America strong again. We will make America proud again. We will make America safe again. And we will make America great again. Great.